me right here is a group of fir trees. These are balsam firs, and they'll be used for understock. So I'll get going. I'll get these prepared for taking off the bottom needles, do a little clipping there, and bring them into the greenhouse or warm them up just a little bit. So this understock is, I'm going to actually pull it out of the, these are 2 7/8" band pots, and they're called band pots because it has that open area with the band across, and the roots will grow straight down and through the bottom there. So these have a nice root system. We're looking for the white roots, means the plant's growing nicely, it's pushing sap. That's exactly what I'm looking for when I want to do grass, because I want that sap flowing and coming into the scionwood. The scionwood is the tree that I want to graft onto this, and it's typically a 1-year-old tip of a branch with buds on it that I'll graft right into either here, or I can go a little higher as well. And then I want that sap to be able to connect. There's still enough green up here. It's pulling sap up. It's also going to pull sap and around where the graft union is, and then over the next few months, those are going to what we call callus up, meaning they're going to bond together. And if you've ever seen a tree that's been wounded and it starts to grow around, that's that callusing that we were just talking about. So I've got some larches next to me. I've got, along with the firs, and those larches are, pretty sure a Japanese larch is the typical one that we use for all the different larches. Nice hardy understock. So this will be my understock for 2 needle pines. It is Pinus sylvestris, a nice hardy understock. I'll take the lower branches off, take the needles off, and graft somewhere in this lower section. Typically is where I want to graft, and I'll take all this off. I can keep clipping off the branches as these candles, these buds grow out, and keep it trimmed out. And the reason that I do that, and it's the way grafters have been doing it, is you don't want your graft to get shaded out down below. And if you have a whole group of them in a tray, they can actually shade out the plant. So we keep it as open as we can, but still enough foliage to create photosynthesis. You can see, we were talking about white roots, and you can just see this just full of white roots, meaning that this is pushing new growth, and this is ready to graft on. So I'm pretty happy about that. This is one of the understock that I brought back. So 3 different types here. So I'm standing in front of a shore pine. Shore pine's Pinus contorta in the botanical name, and which is a native here to Washington. So this is a tree that I picked up from Bentwood Tree down there in Oregon. Kind of an example of what they do. It has a nice flared trunk, roots exposed. I personally don't do bonsai or bonsai, however you want to pronounce it, and but they do come to me and looking for trees like this. So it has some nice movement in it. It's not a finished tree. It would be called pre-bonsai. So, but it's a nice thick caliper trunk with a nice flare on it. And I'm going to show you another tree that I brought back as well. Well, here is that other tree. This is a little leaf linden. I believe it's Tilia cordata, and this is pretty nice. It's got a few shavings here, but you can see the nice rough flared trunk. It's got some deadwood right here where it's split. That's pretty cool. And so it has a nice shape. This one, I'll probably sell this right away, so one of the bonsai people will come by and pick this up, but I don't mind just keeping around, enjoying it myself for a while. So I'm at Bentwood Tree Farm, and so Tom is the owner has just gone to get me an umbrella. It's raining out right now, but they work with different types, mostly pines, and sculpt them, and typically species pines. I'm just going to give an overview of a little bit of what they've got and then walk a couple of the beds. But there are Japanese black pines, regular pines, which is Pinus nigra, Scotch pines. I'm seeing some thread needle cypress right here, and kind of just see how the trunks on these. They work with the bends on them and get them sculpted. And then we've got our little corgi over there too. You can see they've got a nice inventory. They've been doing this for over 20 years, maybe 25 or 30 years, and really nice.
These are interesting, Gil, right here. This is Austrian.
Okay.
And for our cold climate people, I think it's a good mimic of Japanese black pine. A lot of times our customers think they're Japanese black, and we've been working with them a short amount of time. These are probably 5 years post seedling.
Okay.
And they really, we could find great movement in them, and so it's been a pretty fun tree for us to work with. Again, these 2 rows, both Japanese black pine with some Pinus densiflora mixed in.
Okay.
And let's see, as we move this away, this is all shore pine again, Pinus contorta, coast pine. Cold climate people, we've been trying to bend and twist some ponderosa, Pinus ponderosa, which has been interesting, but a lot of fun at the same time, and more and more customers. Japanese black, Pinus thunbergi, straight species.
Okay.
A row, both again Japanese black, which again just pruned recently in the last couple of weeks, but that's typically the way we would ship out any of our trees. Pretty well thinned and a lot of trunk and branching structure. Some shore pine that we renovated. That we didn't like the upper trunk on a lot of these, so we actually removed 4 to 5 feet of tree and decided we would reshape and recraft them. So those have been fun. And
I've noticed the way you've kind of where the limb came off there,
right,
and looks like. So is there anything on? Is it going to heal naturally, or did you put anything on it?
We do use the Japanese salve.
Yes.
And we do and we don't. Sometimes we just let it heal, but Sequoia pitch moss seems to be quite attracted to a big open wound like that. So if we could seal it, that usually will at least deter it from that area, and maybe and not allow it to enter the tree at all. But anyway, we in a lot of cases, and we use a root cut, a knob cutter to go ahead and round that wound. That was a big gnarly, probably a 2.5 inch wound originally. We made it larger, but hopefully it'll soften. And
that's what I noticed too, that you used the knob cutter on it. Yeah.
Yep. 2-year-old seedlings, Japanese black, again Japanese black here as well. Thread branch cypress that we play with. Always looking for a new hobby. This is these are about a 4 to 5 year tree, and now we're going to really let them take off and kind of develop. A lot of fun movement in some of these. They're just coming into their own, and can't wait to see them grow up. What's always interesting is that all these seedlings are the exact same age. So you see a smaller tree like this versus, and that's Japanese, that's densiflora.
Okay.
And that's Japanese black, thunbergi, same age, and the vigor is totally all over the map.
Right.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Same seed stock, but of course they got treated a little different.
Yeah.
Few Japanese black here that we just relocated, cleaning up and condensing some rows. Again, most of our large stock is in Southern California, or Northern California right now. A fun project, thank goodness.
What kind of a project is it? One project, or
one residence?
Well,
actually, actually, there's two different residences, two projects, but the one residence is about 2.5 acres.
Okay.
Scotch pine,
Okay.
again, something we've just been learning and working with, and we're still in the learning phase there. But for our colder climate folks in Boise and Central Oregon and Washington, they seem to hold up pretty well. And lastly, some more black, Japanese black and Japanese red.
Okay. Nice.
Again, shore pine, Pinus contorta. We do grow a few of those. They're a great tree, but they have some issues basically with fungal issues.
Okay.
Can be a pain in the neck if it gets away from you.
How does it show up? How do you?
You'll see it. It usually starts at the very bottom. There's none. It's cyclical in that we saw it last year was a really bad year, and just because we had rain and warm and rain, I think climatically that hurts. But it's in the soil. It's always there, and it's just one of those things. But it starts nearest the bottom, water splashing up onto the lower foliage, and then once it's infected, it goes right up to the top of the tree.
Okay.
So anyway, we did spray. We've been using a couple different fungicides on it, and it's a spring-summer spray, and everything looks pretty good this year. So I don't know. We either hit it or the season was being kind to us. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, Pinus contorta. We have some small and some large, but it's one of those trees that locals really enjoy. It's indigenous, so a lot of people ask for it. It clouds up really nicely, nice dense cloud. These are unpruned right now, but they'll look a lot different in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as soon as we get around to them. So yeah, that's the extent of it. A few Japanese white pine, Pinus flora, Pinus parviflora glauca. Those are grafted, as we talked earlier.
They are a great color, that glauca.
Yeah.
I know. I've got a couple of big ones in the nursery, and I'm grafting a few right now too. So
are you putting those on Sylvestris, or what are you going to
those
put those on?
I am putting them on. You know what, I am putting, I wasn't able to get, because there's such a short supply of understock. I was getting, last year I got some lodgepole pine, contorta, the lodgepole. And I guess according to Bob Fincham, he says it does work. I read something, so
I think it does work.
Yeah, and people even take it out. So, but I just picked up some Sylvestris that at Brooks Tree Farm.
Okay.
So I've got that, and it's big caliper. I'm gonna need to use it up because it's pretty good sized caliper. So I want to get it grafted this year, and I'll hold the lodgepole because it's still pretty young.
Yeah, we buy a bit of our stuff from Brooks. It all depends.
Sure.
And we used to buy everything through them because they used to grow in the ground and harvest out of the ground. Now everything is in a plug, and I'm not real crazy about the plugs at all. Yeah, they're tough. I mean, when they're really small, they're great, but if they're allowed to grow in that little tube, the roots just seem to get really congested and don't really flare out like we'd like to see. For the Nabari, if you will, even on these trees, we still rake away a lot of that lower soil and try to expose as much as we can of the root flare. So.
So are these are the smaller ones you said, or you have other ones too? This is the group.
This is probably all we'll be potting. Again, we use that box. We'll continue to use that box, which is a standard 15-inch cut-down box. It normally would be about that size, and we have it cut down about 4 inches. Get it a little squattier, and then we've got two of these size. You'll see this one here. This is the larger box, and this is the little shorter box here.
Okay.
Again, they're within about 2 inches of each other, and then we went to an oval. They're Chinese, really hard to find right now. I mean, they're a pain in the neck, as a matter of fact.
Are they the training? Are they the training boxes they call them, or the?
That's what we call them. I mean, yeah, they're. They just happen to fit this size tree quite well. When we dig the tree, we could actually carve it to fit in there, and it seems like the tree doesn't really miss a beat. So we're pretty fortunate that way.
Right.
The ovals are over there. You can see one on the front right.
Oh yeah.
And they're a little bit smaller, but for some of the deciduous material we used to put in them, they worked really well. We do try to throw some pine in there too, and it's fine, but you know, they're just a little bit smaller. So anyway, that's about the extent of it.
I hope you have enjoyed a little bit of we've talked about and shown about the trip that I took to Oregon this week, and then showing you the plants that I brought back as well. So be sure to, you know, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out, and give us a thumbs up if you like it. We've been getting good comments, and send your questions. You know, Jessie, she's behind the camera, but she actually sees those before I do and passes them on to me, and I try to get back to everybody right away. So, well, we'll see you next time. We'll be doing more and more videos. Try to do every couple of weeks is what our goal is. See you for now.